You are listening to Boxagon Sports with Abraham Storns Jr., broadcasting the very best in boxing, MMA, and wrestling. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.
What's up, fight fans? Today we're going to talk about the UFC 248 main event between Israel Adesanya and Yoel Romero. One of my previous videos, I predicted this fight to be one of the best fights of 2020. This fight was actually pretty disappointing. I was actually wrong, so do forgive me for hyping you guys up about this fight and it didn't live up to the expectations. So, actually Israel should be the one apologizing to you guys, because tonight he just, he won the fight, but he just bicycled around the octagon pretty much. So in the first round, neither guy did too much in the first couple of minutes. Most of Yoel's fights, he has a very weird style. He comes in very conditioned, but he'll stand there and just wait for a couple of minutes, then he'll start exploding. So Yoel came out with a high guard, and Israel came out in the kind of like a taekwondo and a karate type of stance. And so after that, Yoel landed a good left hand that kind of shook up Israel a little bit, and gave the first round to Romero. In the second round, it was kind of close. Israel had a slight edge in the strikes, and Israel landed a few more leg kicks, but both guys still fought very cautious in the second round. And from the third round to the fifth round, it was kind of hard to call. I gave the fourth round to Romero and the third round to Israel. And the fifth round, it was kind of hard to call too. I actually get a fifth round even, because Israel started off in the round good, and Yoel probably took the second half of the round. So I honestly think this fight could have been a draw, but if I were to give it to one of the guys, it would probably be Romero, because he was the one who landed the harder shots. Israel just he just did a few soft kicks to the top of Romero's head. Most of those kicks were blocked. His hardest kicks were probably to the leg. He ended up bruising Romero's leg pretty badly, and he kind of, to my knowledge, I think he injured his leg, other than the bruises. So that was Israel's strong point tonight. And after the fight, Israel called out Paulo Costa, who was undefeated at middleweight. He defeated Yoel Romero last year over the summer, and Israel, very cocky, didn't show that much sportsmanship. He said, "Yeah, I bleeped his leg up. I bleeped, the mother bleep, everything, a four-letter word, any word you can bleep." That's pretty much what Israel used in his post-fight interview. But Israel is still the best at 186 pounds. His record is 19-0 now, so that's still a pretty impressive record. After he fights Costa, I would hope he would go up in weight and fight John Jones. It's one of the biggest super fights that could possibly be made in UFC right now. Israel is still not ready for Jones, but the reason why I want to see this fight is I want to see Jones to shut Israel's mouth and just, put a hurting on him. But other than that, Israel's still very talented. He's just got a little cocky after coming off a big 2019, especially after this fight, beating such a phenomenal athlete like Romero, who's always just comes in the fight in shape and always ready to fight. But as far as Yoel though, I'm not sure what's next for him in the future. I was actually expecting him to win this fight by knockout. I know he always starts the fight off at a very slow pace, so I was predicting a fourth round TKO for Romero, but looks like that didn't happen at all. But if Israel wasn't running during the fight, it's possible that Yoel possibly could have won this fight still with a knockout or possibly a submission. But Yoel should probably fight some guys who are some up and coming fighters who aren't that I would say average fighters. That way he can get a few tune-up fights to get back in the win column, because I think he lost about his last 3 fights. He lost twice to Whitaker, and he lost to Costa last year, and Israel. So actually he lost his last 4 fights. So he has to get back in the win column, because he said he wants to fight until he's 50. So we'll see what's next for him. But on the undercard, we had a very great undercard, actually. So in the women's strawweight, we had Weili Zhang from China taking on Joanna Jędrzejczyk from Poland. Joanna Jędrzejczyk, she's a very well-known champion in the strawweight division. She took on Ronda Rousey in the past, and she's a former champ. This fight was actually a slugfest. It was the best fight on the card. Zhang won by decision and ended up swelling up Joanna's face very bad. And also, we had Alex Oliveira taking on Max Griffin. I heard that was arguably the fight of the night. Both guys were bleeding in a 3-round fight, and I heard it was just an absolute slugfest. Also had Neil Magny taking on Li Jingling. Neil Magny ended up winning the fight. And so we got some pretty good upcoming UFC fights taking place in the next couple of months. We have Kevin Lee taking on Charles Oliveira. Kevin Lee, and he ended up having a big 2019, so this is his first fight of 2020, so we'll see what's next for him. And see what's next for him in this fight against Charles Oliveira, who was a very good contender himself. Also, we have Tyron Woodley making his return on March 21st against Leon Edwards. Tyron Woodley hasn't fought in a year since he lost to Kamaru Usman, ever since he lost his title last year. So Tyron Woodley is looking to get back to the octagon and looking to put on a good show again. And also this right here, hopefully this should be a good slugfest. We got Francis Ngannou taking on Harienzo Rosenstruck from Africa. Both of these African guys are very hard-hitting fighters. This should be a gruesome fight of both guys come in there and put on the show, so I can't wait to see this. This will be live for free on ESPN. And also we have Alistair Overeem taking on Derek Harris. This fight is going to be on ESPN. This is going to be on April 11th, so this should be a pretty good fight. And also we have the highly anticipated matchup between Khabib Nurmagomedov, the current UFC lightweight champion of the world, taking on El Cucuy, Tony Ferguson. So this fight, like I said in one of my other videos, this fight was attempted to be made about 5 times. Most of the times it was Khabib's fault why the fight got canceled. Like, he had some weight issues, injuries, and like issues like with his health. So I'm ready to see what Khabib will do against Ferguson. I think this will be Khabib's toughest test because of Ferguson's elite ground game, and also has a very good stand-up. So this will definitely be Khabib's toughest fight. All right, guys, thank you all for tuning in. Let me know what you guys thought about yesterday's fight. Don't forget to subscribe.
Thanks for listening to Boxagon Sports with Abraham Storns Jr., broadcasting the very best in boxing, MMA, and wrestling. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.